with full-service laundry, sandwiches, and homemade soup, and 6 Wolf tanning beds. Gate City Blue Devil football on STE Cablevision Channel 30 is brought to you also by Williams Heating and Air Conditioning. Contact them and experience the comfort of a Carrier heat pump today. And by Delegate Terry Kilgore, proud to represent the 1st District in Virginia Legislature. Tough word there, Mark. $50 word.
Real tough. Real tough.
Mark, if you would, as we're about ready to start the game, give us Virginia High's offensive lineup.
I'll do it. For Virginia High, starting at left offensive end is Ricky Francis, a 5'9", 155-pound senior. At left tackle is Bill Helton, a 6'1", 169-pound senior. Starting at left guard, Mark Edwards, a 5'11", 215-pound sophomore. Starting at center, Jeremy Doss, a 5'10", 210-pound senior. Starting at right guard, Josh Hale, a 6'1", 205-pound senior. Starting at right tackle will be Jason Rourke, a 6'1", 190-pound senior. Starting at right end, Brad Leonard, a 5'10", 170-pound senior. Starting at the right wing back, Stephen Johnson, a 5'11", 160-pound senior. Starting at the left wing back, Corey Rollins, a 6', 200-pound junior. Starting at fullback is Earl Crawford, a 6', 195-pound senior. And starting at quarterback is Israel Pope, a 6', 155-pound junior, Larry.
Thank you, Mark. And now for the Gate City Blue Devils. A little change. I'm going to announce the defensive starting lineup. At left end, number 42, Lindsey Fisher, 6'1", 165-pound junior. At left tackle, Larry Jackson, 5'11", 155-pound junior. At the right tackle spot, Brian Burke, 6'1", 180-pound senior. The right defensive end, Joel Stacy, number 73, he's 5'11", 190-pound junior. The left outside linebacker, Jake Housewright, 6 feet 2 inches, 175-pound freshman. The left inside linebacker, Matt Johnson, 6 feet, 207-pound senior. The right inside linebacker, Chad Beasley, 6'4", a 200-pound sophomore. At the right outside linebacker, Benny Wolf, 5'10", 170-pound sophomore. At the left cornerback spot tonight, Matt Clayball, 5'9", 150-pound senior. At the safety spot, Joey McBride, 5'11", 160-pound senior. And the right cornerback tonight is Hank Clayball, 5'9", 150-pound senior. So, Mark, it seems that Virginia High is delaying their entrance to the field here. Gate City's already out on the field and ready. And
well, it looks like the Blue Devils are fired up and ready to play this game. They came off a real tough loss last week, and I'm sure the kids are ready to get after it tonight. Here comes the Virginia High captains, I assume, to the field for the coin toss, and I believe I see the rest of the Virginia High team making their way across the road over there, Larry, making their entrance into the stadium.
Well, I imagine Coach Locke has taken the advantage of every minute he could get in the dressing room to try to fire these Bearcats up. You know, over the past years, Gate City has probably had the upper hand with Virginia High. The overall record, I think, I'm not sure what it is, but in the past 25 years, Gate City is way above the 500 mark with Virginia High.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that a lot of these, most of these kids don't remember, but I remember very well in '73. Virginia High came down here in third game of the season and beat us 19-12 right here, and probably kept us what could arguably be another state championship team. It's the only game that was lost in that season. We was 9-1. Then the '74 team went up there and give them a little payback when they dedicated the field up there.
I remember that. That was a Mickey Rogers night, wasn't it?
It very well was, and it was a big night for Blue Devil football.
Well, we don't have to go back too many years to, you know, it's only been maybe 3 years, either 2 years ago, 3 years ago at Virginia High that the Bearcats pulled out a victory over the Blue Devils. Gate City, I believe, led 9-0 going into halftime and ended up maybe on the short end of the stick with a score something like 13-9.
Yeah, that's This is, like I say, there's no love lost between these two teams, between these two schools. This has been an old rivalry, and I look to see a lot of hard-hitting action. I look to see the Bearcats come out really fired up and trying to take it right to us right to start with, Larry.
Well, Virginia High has won the toss and deferred their choice until the second half. Gate City will receive, and we'll be moving from your left to right as you listen. So Virginia High won the toss, Mark. That's been a thing over the years. Years and years ago, if you won the toss, you won the football. But over the past few years, that's changed. The tradition of that's changed.
Well, I'm sort of surprised at their choice to defer right here and give us the ball first. I tell you, if there's one thing I was really impressed with last week at Lebanon, it was Gate City's ability to move the ball on the Lebanon defense. We started in there, and sophomore quarterback Josh Shoemaker looked like a seasoned veteran to start off with last week, Larry. He was very calm and very collected, and handled himself very well for a first game and for a sophomore.
I thought he did too. I thought Josh had a real good first game for a first game as a sophomore, as you said. Back deep for the Blue Devils to receive will be Hank Clayball and Matt Clayball.
Alex Walls.
The kicking specialist is Alex Walls for Virginia High.
Man, Larry, looks like the fans are ready to go.
It does. It looks like we have a pretty good crowd, Mark, both sides of the field. Walls hits a short end-over-end punt that hits at the 21. Hank Clayball picks it up over to the 25, over to the 30, gets a block up across the 40. He's broken out of the open over midfield. He's at the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Gate City, Hank Clayball.
Larry, we've got a flag back on the 35, 36-yard line. Looks like it could be a pushing penalty or maybe a clipping penalty on Gate City.
Yeah, I noticed that on the way down also, Mark, and the referee was a little bit late throwing it.
He certainly was.
He
was late throwing the ball. As a matter of fact, Hank was just about in the end zone when he threw the flag,
He sure was. And it's going to be a 15-yard penalty on the Blue Devils for clipping. And it should be stepped off from the point that it was thrown, which is the Virginia High 36. Should move the ball just on the Gate City side of midfield.
Boy, it was a beautiful run back by Hank that time.
It was. It's hard to pick up everything when you're watching that runner, Mark, but really he had all of the interference behind him, and really wasn't a need to clip.
Sure did. He got a couple of key blocks right when he needed them, and he didn't waste any time breaking into the open.
So the Blue Devils will take over, we'll call it their own 49-yard line. Josh Shoemaker will be the quarterback tonight. Matt Clayball at the left half, Kevin Gibson at the fullback spot, and Hank Clayball at the right half. And the Devils come out in an I formation with Gibson at the fullback spot. Hank Clayball, the standing tailback. Shoemaker fakes a pitch and does end up pitching it back to Hank Clayball. It was a bad pitch, and Clayball had to fall on the ball with a loss back to the 43-yard line of the Blue Devils.
Well, the defensive end that time for Virginia High read that very well. He come across and stuffed Shoemaker right to start with and forced him to pitch the ball behind Clayball.
Kind of looked like the timing was off on that play from the very get-go, Mark.
Yeah, it did.
Looked like he was supposed to fake to the fullback and did. I formation again. Matt Clayball split out to the right. McClellan split left. Hand off to Hank Clayball up over the 45 or 46, close to the 47 of the Blue Devils.
And he was stopped in there by Mark Edwards, who made a real good read, and he actually had to make a comeback to make that tackle there.
Picked up about 4 yards on the play. It's going to be third down and about, we'll call it 12 yards.
I tell you, I was real impressed with the way our offensive line blew Lebanon off the ball last week. They come off the ball good, and looks like they're getting off real good tonight, too.
They are. They're getting off the ball well. I formation again. Long count by Shoemaker. Takes a snap, hands off to the tailback. Hank Clayball, and he only struggles for maybe a yard gain on the play.
Octavius Hall made that stop.
The Virginia High defense is pretty quick, Mark.
Yeah, they are. He was across the ball real quick that time. He almost beat our people off across the ball that time, I'm afraid, Larry.
Fourth down and 12. Joey McBride drops back into punting formation. And the Bearcats drop a couple back deep. One of them is Stephen Johnson. There's the punt by McBride, and it's fielded and fumbled and covered, I believe, on the...
No, Gate City
has recovered the football. Took it away from him in the pile, I believe.
Well, that was an excellent punt that time by McBride. He hit that ball very well.
Matt Clayball was down, and Matt McClellan both were down on the play, and I believe McClellan may have recovered the punt.
I believe he did. And things have a way of coming back around. The call back on the run on the kickoff on the run back, and here we get a break down in the red zone, Larry.
You're right. Ball spotted on the 16-yard line of the Bearcats. Pro set this time for the Blue Devils. Hand off to Gibson. Up the middle, breaks across the 5-10. Touchdown, Gibson.
Well, it was a fine hole opened up in there by the offensive line that time.
I believe that goes 10-5 instead of 5-10.
Well,
a good hole that time. Running off the right side on blocks by Chad Beasley and Sean Becker off that right side that time, along with Jason Kilgore in the middle.
I tell you, Larry, I believe there was a hole there that time. Maybe you or I one could have got through.
Well, if it had stayed open long enough, we might have. All right, Matt McClellan will try the point after. Shoemaker will hold. The snap is down. The kick is up. And the kick is good. So with 9:33 to go in the first quarter, the Blue Devils jump on top of the Bearcats 7-0.
Well, it didn't take long to turn that thing over once we got the ball back to get it in there.
And I'm sure that either one of these coaches, both of them wanted to be the team that got on top first.
Oh, I'm sure, and I'm sure that Coach Locke had it on his mind to set the tone of the game defensively. When he deferred to the second half, he thought if he could shut us down, that he'd set the tone of the game. And unfortunately, fortunately for us, I hope it's backfired on him.
You know, in those stats that we were talking about, Virginia High had last week, they had 3 fumbles. I believe we had 2 fumbles at least, too. We lost both ours up there. Virginia High had 3 fumbles last week and didn't lose any, but hopefully that's a sign of things to come. We could take all the fumbles Virginia High give us tonight.
I promise you, we'll take everything they want to give up tonight.
Matt McClellan will kick off for the Blue Devils with the ball spotted at the 40.
We need a program from Mr. B in there, bring it in here so we can get these odd numbers.
Bearcats again drop almost a 3 deep safety back. Johnson and Corey Rollins are 2 of the deep. McClellan kicks the ball off, and Rollins fields it at the 13. Breaks across the 20, the 25. Still running up to about the 30-yard line. A good run back that time by Rollins. About a 16-yard run back, I would say.
He did. He had a hole there for a minute, but fortunately, Gate City shut it down pretty quick, Larry.
Bearcats will come to the line of scrimmage with the ball spotted on the 31 of the Blue Devils. Of Virginia High, my fault. Israel Pope, the quarterback for the Bearcats. Wing T formation. The Devils in a 6-man line. We've got motion in the backfield, Virginia High, and a flag thrown to stop the play. Have a dead ball foul against Virginia High, illegal procedure. So the Bearcats right off the bat on this drive will lose 5 yards and be 1st and 15 from the 26-yard line, their own 26-yard line.
Well, this is going to be a big game, and I expect that there are going to be some mistakes made probably on both sides, but I look for more mistakes from the Virginia High side. They've not been in a game this big, and under a new system, it's going to be tough for them.
I agree. The Devils again with a 6-man line. Pope, the quarterback. Left back goes in motion, circles around the right end, and he's hit and stopped after a gain of about 1 yard.
And I tell you, Beasley and Matt Johnson just absolutely wore him out that time. They stepped up in the hole and really shut it off in a hurry.
Both those linebackers have good speed for young men their size, Mark.
They do, and they've got excellent lateral movement on the ball. They don't waste any time reading the defense and moving toward the ball.
Pickup of 1 on the play. It's 2nd down, 14. The ball spotted at the 27, we'll call it. Wing T again. Left back goes in motion. Israel keeps the ball. Pope keeps the ball. Throws a pass downfield. That is caught.
Oh, an outstanding catch that time.
The pass was received and caught by Stephen Johnson at the Blue Devil 37-yard line.
And Larry, that certainly wasn't bad defense. He didn't have him. We had a defensive man behind him. He just reached up and made a good one-handed grab that time.
Well, the ball was underthrown a little bit, Mark, and the defensive man couldn't get to the ball without going through the offensive play. All right, Pope puts the Bearcats in motion at the 37. Handoff to Campbell up the middle. He spins across the 35 down to about the 34 of the Blue Devils. Big Crawford, I'll sit Campbell. Big Crawford, the fullback in this formation. Had a good game against Rural Retreat last week, about 125 yards, I believe, rushing. And in this wing T formation, Mark, if I can get these teeth out of the way, you usually put it back in motion off that thing most of the time.
Most of the time.
One of those cornerback, wing back.
Most of the time.
All right, the Bearcats this time come into a pro set. Hand off to Crawford up the middle. He's hit and struggles forward to about the 31-yard line of the Devils. Pickup of about 3-4 on the play.
And the inside of the line did a great job that time. The inside lineman stuffing that hole.
Brian Burke and Larry Jackson, your tackles on in the middle of that line.
I'll be really surprised, Larry, if they can run on the inside of our line at all tonight. I think if they get anything, it's going to have to be through the air or on the outside.
Well, you would think if they looked at the films last week, they would have an idea they could run in the middle because that's the way Lebanon gained their biggest yardage.
Well, but that's why I say that they'll have a hard time tonight.
Pro set again. Pope takes the snap, hands off again to Crawford.
Oh.
He's hit and lowered by Matt Johnson.
Matt Johnson just absolutely exploded on him that time.
He might have gained a half a yard that time, depending on the spot. We'll give him a full yard. It's going to make it 4th down and 2 from the Blue Devil 29.
Oh, Matt just exploded into the line that time, and I mean that I guarantee you that young man's been welcome to Blue Devil football right there.
I'm not so sure that Mr. Crawford might not be in Matt Johnson's mind. He may be keen on Crawford, you suppose?
Well, he could be.
Pro set again by the Bearcats. Ball on the Blue Devil 29. Cornerback goes in motion right, and Pope calls a timeout.
I think he was hoping to draw us offside that time, Larry. He kind of nodded his head during his count, and it didn't work.
Kind of looked like he was trying to have a long count too, didn't it? To draw us offside. That doesn't give an impression of having a whole lot of faith in the offense, does it?
Well, not this early in the game. I mean, you've got the ball inside the 30 and 4th down about 2. I would think in that situation that if you were trying to be impressive, you'd line right up and try to run right at it.
Yeah, I would think so too, Mark. So this is the first big play of the game for the Devils defensively. They've other than the one long pass, they've done a pretty good job shutting the running game down.
That's right. I see Lindsey Fisher checking back into the game for the Blue Devils, and he made a good stop a while ago on that 2nd down play.
Fisher got his first start at defensive end last week. Played a lot of linebacker last year and is figured in on the depth chart some in some of the linebacker spots here. All right, pro set again by the Bearcat. Hand off to Crawford, and he's hit.
Oh, he's hit
and
there.
Stopped at the 30, short of the 1st down.
Benny Wolf made real good penetration that time and got a hand on him, and then the rest of the Blue Devil team just kind of cleaned him up in there.
They were trying to run to the weak side. Gate City's defense is the weak side, and trying to run away, I'd say, from Matt Johnson. So Benny Wolf stepped up and made a good play.
Benny Wolf, I tell you, Benny Wolf I thought was impressive last week, Larry. He's awful quick.
He is. He's got good speed. All right, the Blue Devils take over on the Virginia High on their own 30. Virginia High in a 5-man line. Handoff to Gibson, and he drives across the 30 up to about the 34. Pickup of maybe 3 on the play.
Tackle by number 34, Brad Leonard, and number 56, Jason Rohr.
Brad Leonard made the stop for Virginia High, assisted by Rohr. So a gain of 3 on the play. We've got 5:19 to go in the first quarter, and the Blue Devils lead Virginia High 7-0. Pro set for the Devils. Long count for Shoemaker. Rolls out to his left, throws a little pass out in the flat intended for Hank Clayball. That's overthrown, incomplete. pass was open.
Yeah,
We just didn't get the ball to him.
He had him open. He had him open there momentarily. There was a little coverage there by the safety, but he was open, and Josh just overthrew him.
I believe, Mark, that's a play that we ran a time or two up at Lebanon line.
Yeah, that's a little. That's just a little out pass there by Clay Ball. He just kind of comes out of the backfield and turns it out into the flat right there real quick, and it can go for a long gainer when you make your right fakes on that.
3rd and 7. The Devils back in an I formation. Fake to the fullback. We run the option with Shoemaker. He keeps, has blockers out in front, has a first down across the 45, struggles up to the 48, 49-yard line of the Blue Devils.
And Josh made a real good read that time on the end. He faked the pitch out there and pulled it back in, turned it upfield, and that's a real headsy play there by the young sophomore, Larry.
Well, one thing that impressed me on that play too, Mark, we had 3 or 4 blockers out in front of that play.
Matt Johnson was out there leading downfield, and one cut either left or right, and Josh may have gotten another 5 or 10 yards out of that.
All right, the ball's on the 48 of the Blue Devils. 1st and 10 with 4:43 to go in the first quarter. Devils leading 7-0. I formation this time. Hand off to the fullback, cutting right over center.
Number 40,
And Gibson goes into Virginia High territory at about the 49-yard line. Gain of about 3 on the play, we'll say.
And he stopped.
made by number 50, Jeremy Dawson.
Number 64, Josh Hale, was in there from the linebacker spot, and
Brings up 2nd and 7.
still the Devils line are still exploding off the ball right into the Virginia High offense.
You're right.
I'm sorry, Virginia High defense.
We got House right in at tight end on this play. The Devils again in their pro set with a tight end on the right side. Receiver split left and right. McClellan left, play ball right. Now handoff is on a little quick opener up the middle to Hank Clayball this time, and he picks up maybe 3-4 yards on the play. He's going to bring up 3rd down and about 4 yards to go.
Well, the stopping there at time was made by Octavius Hall, Larry, number 61, and he raced straight up that time in the line. He keeps doing that. I'm sure Coach Colbro and Coach Housewright and the boys will pick up on that.
I'd say if a man's standing straight up, like it'd be easier to block with.
He's very much easier to block. He stood straight up, and they just kind of pushed him back.
Pro set this time by the Devils. Fumble on the play. Shoemaker scrambles after the ball, but Virginia High recovers right at midfield. Kind of looked like Josh might have backed out. I had to count too quick.
He was trying to pull out a little early. It looked like Josh Hale come in there and just kind of rolled over on the ball, and Josh Shoemaker just couldn't hardly reach it.
So a turnover here. The ball will be spotted on Virginia High's 49. The Devils again have to put their defensive will to a test here. Have to contend with all this speed that Virginia High had. 5-man line this time by the Blue Devils. Pro set by the Bearcats. Pope got a whistle on the play.
A flag on the far side of the field. I would venture to say somebody probably lined up the neutral zone there.
So you're right. Usually, Mark, if a defense lines up in the neutral zone, do they blow it dead before it ever starts?
Well, at times it just depends. I've seen some officiating crews will blow it dead right as soon as they line up in there. I've seen some wait till the actual play gets started and well, let the play carry on out. I think it's just at the discretion of the official, whoever at the line judge.
The penalty was on Virginia High for 5 yards for illegal procedure. Makes it 1st and 15 with the ball spotted on the Bearcat 45. Pro set again. Pope the quarterback. Long count. Pope rolls out to his left, has the receiver downfield, turns and throws the ball that is complete. The catch was made by Damian Johnson that time, I believe. He did a good job taking the ball away from Hank Clayball.
Well, he came back toward the ball again, was a little underthrown. He came back toward the ball and just got position on Hank, and Hank couldn't get back around in front of him to get his hand on the ball there.
The ball will be spotted on the Blue Devil 25.
That's 2 passes that Pope's thrown, and both of them's been a little bit underthrown.
And to
both
their advantage, really.
Both of them's been complete, too.
Yep. All right, the ball on the Blue Devil 25. Pope hands off to Campbell. Crawford straight up the middle. He rolls off the tackle at the 23, rolls across into the over the 20 down to about the 19-yard line.
Made by
Number 2, Matt Clayball, and number 43, I believe
gain of about 6 yards.
Benny Wolf was in there that time.
Bearcats going with a no-huddle offense here, too, Mark. I want to call Crawford Campbell for some reason. You noticed that, haven't you?
Well,
Among many things, right? Pro set. Pope, a long count. Hands off again to Crawford, and he breaks tackles and struggles down to the 15. He's going to be awful close to a first down here. Maybe a half yard or a yard short.
Larry, the Bearcats have got somebody down.
You know, I was talking to Coach Mark Daniels over there when I got the lineups tonight. He's one of the assistant coaches and the head baseball coach at Virginia High. He said, when he gave me those lineups, he said, you notice we're not very deep, don't have too many substitutes at too many different places. I didn't count on the roster to see how many kids they have. Did you get a number, Mark?
I can't get it yet. I believe that may be Rourke, number 56, their right tackle. Is that?
That's the way I see it. I believe it's number 56, Jason Rourke. He's a senior, 6'1", 190-pounder.
And Larry, they seem to be checking around the head area. I think he just
maybe had his bell rung.
Maybe got his bell rung there a little bit.
Rourke is the right tackle on offense for the Bearcats. So a substitute will enter the ball game.
Yeah, he'll have to come out for at least one play, and I expect we'll see him back. He's coming off under his own power.
Seems to be in pretty good shape, doesn't it?
Seems to be.
It's going to be 3rd down and 1 with the ball spotted on the 16-yard line of the Blue Devils. Pro set again for the Bearcats. Handoff. Crawford. He's hit. Stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
Boy, Benny Wolf did a good job to hang on that time to Crawford. Crawford almost broke that loose, and Benny just hung on and got some help from Matt Johnson and Hank Clayball, too.
Did a good job. He had about 3 or 4 people coming in there to assist him on that tackle once he held on, like you said. So the Bearcats lose maybe a half yard here. We'll call it 4th down and 1, and it's a long one. They've got to go just across the 15-yard line to get a first down. The ball spotted in between the 16 and the 15.
And the Bearcats call time again.
That's their second timeout, right, in this hay?
The second timeout, and both of them's been on 4th down and short yardage, too.
It has, that. Kind of like indecision.
Well, Larry, the Bearcats pulled the entire team to the sideline this time.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
Is that legal in high school?
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that on timeout. I'm sure Coach Housewright's going out there to tell the defense to be aware of just about anything. I tell you, when you don't know a whole lot about a new coaching staff and their tendencies of what they do on 4th down or in crucial situations, it's hard to prepare a defense on what to be aware for.
That's right. Especially if they've only played one game.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of film on one game.
There's not a whole lot of film, but I'm kind of surprised that in both crucial situations on 4th and short that they've called timeouts.
I agree. Throw set again with Rollins and Crawford in the backfield. Handoff to Crawford. He dives across the 15 and has a first down at about the 13-yard line of the Blue Devils.
And that was literally a dive, too. He just went up over the top.
That's just like a power eye play on the goal line.
Yeah, it sure was.
Unless you get a linebacker to meet him in mid-air, there's not much of a way of stopping that if he can get off the ground. Ball spotted on the Blue Devil 13. 1st and 10. We've got 36 seconds to go in the first quarter, and the Blue Devils lead 7-0.
1st and 10 Bearcats.
Virginia High has done a decent job of moving the ball, but mostly on the arm of Pope so far.
Well, they got a couple of big breaks, I guess you should say, on the pass plays.
Handoff to Crawford. Cross right tackle, down across the 10, up to about the 9-yard line. A gain of about 3-4 yards on the play.
He stopped in there by Andy Smith and Matt Johnson that time.
Tell you something I've noticed, Mark, the last 3 or 4 runs they've made, other than the one where Crawford was thrown in his backfield, they're getting about 3 and 4 yards on each snap.
They're opening some pretty good holes, and the last couple of times in the line, they've opened a couple big holes, but they've shut down relatively fast.
All right, that's the end of the first quarter, with the Blue Devils leading Virginia High 12-0. We'd like to tell you that this football game is brought to you also by Gate City Drug, by Doc Whitley Nationwide Insurance, by the Campus Drive-In, by Scott Jewelers, by Willis Pharmacy, and by Michael Carrico, candidate for Commonwealth Attorney. Thank you to all the supporters who helped bring you Blue Devil football on Channel 30.
Well, Larry, we got the Bearcats are threatening right here. I'm sure they'd like to punch it in that first quarter, but this is our deepest penetration of the night right here.
Yeah, it is. It's we got to do a good job here to keep them out there, Old Blue. All right, the ball, it's 2nd and 5 for the Bearcats on the Blue Devil 9-yard line, I believe. Handoff to Crawford. He's across left tackle, down close to the 5-yard line, I believe, maybe spotted at the 6.
I believe it stopped that time by Chad Beasley, and Larry, there was a pretty good hole in there. The initial opening was big enough to get a couple 3 yards out of it.
Doesn't it look to you that they've gone away from this Delaware wing tee set a lot, running out of the pro set more so than the wing tee? They opened up in the Delaware wing tee, but they've changed a little bit and run more pro set offense, I believe, here, Mark.
Well, it seems on this drive they have, and when they got down inside a while ago when they were driving, they went away from it a little bit too.
3rd down and 3. Crawford and Rollins in the backfield. Hand off to Crawford, and he struggles across the 5. A pickup of a yard and a half on the play. We'll give him 1.
Stopped in there by Matt Clayball and Matt Johnson, and Matt Johnson read that and came up real quick and shut that down in a hurry.
We've got 4th down and 2. The Bearcats so far tonight, I believe, have had 2 4th down opportunities to convert on 1st down, and both of them have been 4th and 2 jobs. So this makes the 3rd one here. Last time Crawford went airborne and picked up his 1st down, so we'll see what they call here. Pope takes the hand off, and Crawford is submarine behind the line of scrimmage.
That I believe he had his heart on going airborne again, Larry.
Sean Becker broke through there and grabbed his ankles, and he couldn't get up now.
Yeah, he tried to jump, and Becker just grabbed hold of him and pulled him right back down.
This Becker, I think, is a good-looking kid. He was injured last year and never got to play very much last season, and watched him over at Powell Valley in the Jamboree and thought he looked pretty good, and played some last week on defense. Now he's been started on offense last night. So the Devils take over at their own 7-yard line. Shoemaker, the quarterback. Pro set by the Devils this time. Handoff. Fullback Gibson struggles up to the 15, close to the 15-yard line. Good gain on the play. Going to be a gain of about 7 probably on this play.
And Larry,
That's all right, buddy. I messed him up all night.
Jeremy Doss got a hand on him, and he drug Jeremy, I guess, a yard or 2 before he actually pulled him down. Kevin run real hard that time.
Me and you said we'd have fun with this. 2nd down and 2.
I guess you've been called worse than Larry.
Probably. The ball's on the Blue Devil 15. Little trap play this time to Clayball. He squirts across the 15 up to about the 16. The yardage is hard to get down in here, it looks like.
It is, and he was stopped pretty much with the whole right side of the Virginia High defense that time.
Tried to run a little trap over left guard that time, looks like, Mark.
Yeah, and that play's that's got to be a play that's executed almost perfectly, and it's got to be executed quick in order to make that work. You have to hold the block a little bit longer here by your tackle and your on your trap. You've got to really execute hard on that.
Well, these Bearcats too are playing almost an eight-man line here. They're in Gate City to throw the ball.
Their linebackers are real tight too. They're
3rd down and 1. Handoff to Hank Clayball on a little slant over right tackle, right end. And we'll see on the spot how close we are to 1st down. Looks like the officials are calling timeout for a measure. So we've either got it by an inch or 2, Mark, or we're short.
I think Virginia High's tightened up down inside, Larry. They're not yardage may be a little tougher to get inside the tackles now.
Well, the field position the Gate City's had here, especially on this drive. 1st down, Blue Devil. I'm a little surprised. I thought he was short. Of course, the ball was spotted way across the field from me and you. That's a good excuse, Mark. I always use that when you can.
I'll try my best.
And but it looked like on the actual play that He might not have gotten very much, but all he had to get was a yard.
I'm a little surprised that we haven't thrown the ball a little more than what we have in this first half.
Well, I think field position's probably dictated what we've done. We've not had real good field position except the one drive where we fumbled at midfield. Shoemaker. Full house backfield this time, and we have flags all over the place. Looks like the first flag came from the back judge here, Mark.
The first flag came from back judge, and the other flag came in the Devils' offensive backfield, and the one came on the line.
Just two guys out there didn't throw it, right?
Illegal procedure against
Oh, B.K. Walker's one of those officials. You know B.K., assistant coach, baseball coach over in Powell Valley?
Yeah, I believe I do.
Yeah, B.K. I noticed on the list we had. Matter of fact, the officials tonight are the referee is Jim Clasby, the umpire is Bill Buckles, and we'll get into the rest of those people here in a minute. Full house backfield again by the Devils. 1st and 15. Shoemaker with a long count. Fake to the fullback, handoff around right in. I believe that's McMurray. It had slipped into the ball game at the left halfback, and he lost his footing just as he got to the 15-yard line.
I'll tell you, Larry, this McMurray kid's just a sophomore, Jason McMurray, and I had the privilege, and I mean that sincerely, the privilege is of being a Little League coach when he played for us with the Packers, and he has got lightning speed.
Well, Coach Colabro told me the other night that he might be the fastest man on this team.
It wouldn't surprise me a bit. He was the fastest kid in Little League when we had him.
A little wishbone offense here. Is that a wishbone, Mark?
I believe it is.
Fake to the fullback. A handoff to the left halfback, circling over left guard this time. I believe that's Hank play ball on the carry. Mac play ball on the carry this time. Gets the ball up to the 20. Gain of about 4 or 5 on the play is going to make it 3rd down and about 7 yards to go.
Ricky Francis.
We've got 7 minutes and 30 seconds left in the second quarter. The Blue Devils lead the Virginia High Bearcats 7-0. Coach Colabro told us yesterday he might run a little wishbone, and that's the formation it appears to me.
And we're back in it again.
Wishbone formation again with Gibson at the fullback. And the Gate City offensive line moved.
Yeah, the defense, Virginia High's defense, jumping around in the line in there caused one of our linemen to lose concentration momentarily and jump.
Well, you know, Mark, so far, it's kind of been like it was last week. Virginia High hadn't done as much to stop us as we've done to stop ourselves. We're getting a couple of costly penalties here in bad situations, and one fumble tonight to turn the ball over at midfield. So, Blue Devils again, wishbone formation. Shoemaker the quarterback. Ball at the 15-yard line of the Blue Devils. Handoff. Fake. Pass to Gibson. He breaks out into the open. He's up to midfield. The 45 and drug down from behind by a Bearcat at the Virginia High 43-yard line.
And Larry, that Bearcat that drug him down was Israel Pope. And
the quarterback and safety on defense.
Quarterback and safety, and he showed his speed right there, just a little faster than Kevin could account for, but nonetheless, Kevin made a real good run after the reception.
Well, it got us out of a deep hole back there, Mark. And Shoemaker did a good job faking that time. Not just because I lost it all, but he did. He faked me out, didn't he?
Well, he faked you and the whole defensive line of the Bearcats.
Yeah, I don't feel so bad since Virginia High was standing around looking. One back offense this time. Shoemaker rolls out to his right, has 2 receivers on a little shotgun.
Little shuttle
pass this time, what? Had 2 receivers breaking down the right sideline, and I took my eye off the ball for a minute, and they ran that little Utah pass deal, wasn't it?
I'll tell you, that's a new play to us. I've never seen Gate City run right there. I've never seen us run a shuttle pass.
I don't think I have either. Devils pick up about 2 yards on the play. We'll call it 3 and call it 2nd down and 7. Got 6 minutes to go, second quarter, with the Blue Devils leading Virginia High 7-0. One back offense again. Shoemaker, long count. Drops straight back. Has a man going down the middle. The pass is overthrown.
My goodness, he had him open too.
Pass was intended for West Ford, wasn't it?
It was. Right in, and I tell you, Shoemaker's got such a strong arm. I tell you, he just and he throws the ball on the rope when he throws it.
Yeah, that pass needed a little bit more air under it. Didn't give him a chance to run in that.
Yeah, he'd actually broken behind the Virginia High secondary there. He had a chance at it.
So, Mark, you have been an old football coach. or a new football coach, whichever, even though you don't complete these passes, it kind of opens up the defense on the other side of the ball.
It does, and that's why I said earlier, I was surprised we weren't throwing the ball more than what we were.
Pro set this time by the Devils. Shoemaker, handoff Gibson, struggles across the 35, up across the 30, the 25, down close to the 20-yard line of the Bearcat. First down, Gate City.
Again, he had to be dragged down from behind by Israel Pope. Anytime you get safeties having to make tackles, you're eating up some yardage.
I tell you, Gibson's small for fullback stature, but he's quick.
He runs hard. He's a good hard runner, and he keeps his feet moving. He keeps going straight ahead all the time.
Ball will be spotted at the 21-yard line of the Bearcats. First and 10, Blue Devil. Pro set this time. Shoemaker, long count. Gate City moved. Virginia High moved offside. I believe Gate City might have moved first. So
yeah, I believe Matt McClellan may have jumped that time.
Illegal procedure, Gate City. So another one of those costly penalties. We've overcome one in this drive so far. Here we are now, first and 15 with the ball moved back from the 21 of the Bearcats to the 26 of the Bearcats.
Penalties make a coach shudder about anywhere he sees them, but when you get inside the 30 and on inside the 20 in what they call the red zone, I tell you, the last thing you want to see is a penalty by anybody.
I agree. That'll kill the drive about as quick as anything. Pro set this time. Shoemaker, long count again. Handoff this time to Matt Clayball, and he struggles across the 25. Only gained about a yard on the play. You know, talking to Coach yesterday, Mark, he said he told the kids Monday, he said, no, we can't blame these mistakes on inexperience anymore. He said, you played 4 quarters now. You've got one game under your belt. so we can't blame any more mistakes on inexperience now.
So they're all seasoned veterans now.
Seasoned veterans. But thought the Devils did a real good job last week offensively, and they've shown spurts of good things here tonight. Second down and 15. Ball to Virginia High 25. Pro set again. Shoemaker. Fake to Gibson. Runs the option. Keeps up across the 20 down to about the 17-yard line. I tell you, when those shoes stretches out there, you get an extra yard or two on that.
At least the extra yard. I tell you, I'm impressed with Johnson's ability to read on that option. Usually a young quarterback has trouble reading which way the defense is going to play him, but he's read it well twice and cut it up when he should.
The Virginia High Bearcats have used their last timeout for this half. So if anything drastic happens again, Mark, they're out of timeout.
Well, the way they've been calling timeouts on fourth and short yardage, I'm like you. It shows me that they lack a little confidence in their offense.
Gate City Blue Devil football on STE Cablevision Channel 30 is brought to you by King Ford in Gate City, where it's closeout time with better than ever savings. By Roberts Tire and Recapping, with quality tires like Firestone and Michelin at their Weber City location. By People's Bank of Gate City, featuring half-a-day hours on Saturday and a drive-up ATM. Get countrywide service with People. By Magnolia Place, discover the charm of the place for the perfect gift on East Jackson Street in Gate City. By Weber City Drug, great prescription service, also featuring UPS and fax service for your convenience. All right, the Blue Devils come back to the line of scrimmage. The ball is on the Virginia High 16. It's third down and a long 6. Pro set offense this time. Handoff to Hank Clayball on a little quick opener that didn't pick up much yardage at all.
No, he was met there by the whole left side of the Virginia High line, and
we got a little bit better spot than I thought, Mark. I didn't think we gained about a yard, but they gave us about 2 yards on the play. It's going to make it fourth down and 3. And let's see what the Devils are going to do here. Looks like they're going to go for it instead of possibly taking the field goal opportunity here. But in high school, that'd be a pretty long field goal.
Pretty good field goal, and it sure is.
Wishbone offensive set. Fourth down and 3 for the Devils. Ball at the 14 of Virginia High. Shoemaker breaks a man. And the pass is intended for McClellan at the goal line and broken up by the Bearcats.
And I tell you, Pope made a real good defensive play that time.
He did. He came across his back without making contact to bat the ball away.
He did. He just batted the ball down. It was a well-thrown pass. Matt McClellan was there. The ball was there, and Pope just made an excellent defensive play.
So the Bearcats have held the Devils at their own, 13-yard line this time? It's like the 14-yard line. You know, the Bearcats will take over at their own 14. They hold the Devils on downs. We've got 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the first quarter. In the first half, I'm sorry, with the Blue Devils leading 7-0.
Well, that could be a big momentum change in the first half, Larry, to shut the Devils down in there where we've been really pretty tough.
I agree. The Devils this time in a 5-man line. Hope the quarterback. We got motion this time from Virginia High, I believe, and we have flags on the field. Kind of hard to have them anywhere besides on the field.
It certainly is. It's hard to. I tell you what, both these offenses are kind of sputtering from the standpoint of penalties. We've seen a lot of motion penalties on both sides of the ball.
Kind of looks like a game you would expect for the first game of the year instead of the second game of the year.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of. This being a
big rivalry,
big rivalry in a district game, and the Devils actually, I would imagine, were just a little overly pumped up coming into this game.
I'd say you're right. After the penalty, it spots the ball at the Virginia High 9-yard line. 1st and 15 for the Devils. Now they're back in the Delaware wing T set with Crawford, the standing fullback. A reverse off of the wing tee by the wing back to the right side, hands to the wing back to the left side, and he drives up across the 15-yard line to the 16-yard line. The handoff was to Johnson, and he handed off on a reverse to Corey Rollins, and he picked up 3 or 4 yards on the play.
And actually, Rollins almost just tripped over his own feet or over some of his own people. He had some blockers in front of him.
Yeah, there's some of that deception that you get from a wing tee. About a 7-yard gain on the play. 2nd down and 7 yards to go. Pope with a long count. Handoff. Running wide this time is Rollins, and he's driven out of bounds on the 20. And we have flags down on the field again.
Yeah, the first flag was thrown about at the initial contact of the defense, and this other one's thrown as it went out of bounds. I don't see hardly how they could call us for a late hit on that, but
we may have a face mask on that second play. The officials say clipping, Virginia High, face mask, Gate City. So those are offsetting penalties. And we'll start at the original line of scrimmage. Be 2nd down and 7 again. So that's quite a few penalties already. You and I aren't keeping stats, but we'll have stats at halftime here supplied to us by Mark Peters and WGAT Radio. So I'm kind of interested in seeing how many penalties we've had, how much yardage already. Bearcats come to the line again. Ball on the 16-yard line, their own 16. Wing tee again. Left halfback goes in motion, and the handoff is to the right halfback this time. That's Stephen Johnson, and he runs a slant across the 20 to about the 21. A gain of about 4 on the play. He's going to make it 3rd down and about 3. Ball spotted just across the 20-yard line of the Bearcats.
Larry, I noticed they've moved Beasley into a down defensive tackle. Moved him out of the linebacker down to a defensive tackle.
Well, they will do a little alternating at the fullback. I mean, at the linebacker spot. They've got Fisher in the linebacker spot now, I believe it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they do.
Looks like a busted play this time from Pope. A fake handoff. Got a man breaking out in the open, and he catches the ball at the 45-yard line for a 1st down of the Bearcats. Bearcat 45.
And had not been for Joey McBride that time coming up, I'm afraid that one was gone.
You know, that looked like a busted play right off the bat.
It did.
It like he missed his handoff first.
It looked like that, and when his receiver, it looked like Pope just caught a glimpse of the receiver breaking open and threw to him.
It's like the best offense Virginia High's got so far is throwing the football. Throw set this time with the flanker in motion left. And we've got flags again.
one thing about it, the referees certainly have not been embarrassed so last night, have they?
No. Illegal procedure against the Bearcat.
They're not shy at all.
No, they aren't. That's, well, if it's there, you're supposed to call it, right? I don't know what they're, evidently they may have two people moving, because in this Delaware wing tee, you put a man in motion a lot. As long as that one man's moving, he's all right.
That's right. As long as he's not moving toward the line of scrimmage.
Well, and that could be what he's doing. His first step could be toward the line of scrimmage. Pro set this time again. Pope, a quarterback for the Bearcat. Crawford and Raleigh. Pope rolls back to his right, rolls out to his right, chased by Beasley. Pass is intended upfield this time for number 2, who is Earl Crawford. That's the fullback. And Housetright was defending, broke the pass up. So they ran Crawford out of the backfield that time, tried to hit him.
Try to get him out in the flat. I don't believe that was destined to go very far. We had a couple Devils all around him that time. Number 41, Jake Housetright, and I'm not sure who the other one was, but he wasn't going far if he caught it, I don't believe.
Second down, 15. The ball on the Virginia High 40. Pope, the quarterback. Long count. Rolls out to his right again. Throws a long pass downfield that is complete at the Gate City 35-yard line. The pass is caught this time by Damian Johnson.
Number 2, Matt Clayball was there, but it seems like to me, Larry, our defensive secondary sure giving them a lot of room underneath.
They're playing a pretty good cushion, aren't they?
They surely are.
I think Pope's about something like 4 for 5 or 5 for 6 in this game, just off the top of my head. A single setback this time back to the Delaware wing tee. 2 wing backs flanked either side. Handoff on this reverse, coming back to the right side. Matt Johnson hits and drives Corey Rollins out of bounds at the 34-yard line.
And that's a heads-up play. If Matt don't make that play right there, Larry, he's going up the sideline for a pretty good ways. Our end got trapped that time, and
Matt was out here by himself. What?
Matt was out there by himself, and I should have said the end got hooked instead of trapped, and Matt made a real good read and came up and stopped that thing.
We've got only 43 seconds left before halftime. Virginia High's out of timeout. They had a player come limping off the field to get the clock stopped for an injury, and I thought she chopped it back and got it started running again after he was replaced, Mark, but evidently not till the snap. Wing tee again. Crawford to fullback. Pope drops straight back with pressure from Beasley. The pass is thrown out in the right flat, and it's incomplete. Pass was intended that time for Stephen Johnson.
You know, what passes Pope's thrown tonight, they've turned out good. They've not been what I'd call a real pretty pass. They've been kind of wobbly, and they've been underthrown a couple of times, but and that time he threw it into the ground. But I'm sure when they go in at halftime and the Virginia High coaches look at what they've done, I expect to see them come right back out and start throwing the second half.
We got Chad Beasley now playing a left defensive end over here, and you know Beasley's 6'4". Pope's only about 6 feet, and Beasley was coming in there with those arms up, and might have made it hard for him to throw over top of it. 39 seconds left before halftime. Pope with the snap, drops straight back. The Devils come with good pressure. The pass downfield is overthrown and incomplete, and a flag is thrown on the play. Matt Clayball was the defender, I believe, that time.
I believe they're going to get us for being on his back that time, Larry.
Well, the pass was overthrown, and I don't believe either one of them could have caught it. It looked to me like both of them went up for the football and it was overthrown. Of course, we're a little partial, I guess, aren't we?
I'd say just a tad.
But that's a 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage, I believe, in high school. So that should move the ball inside the 20, I guess, the Blue Devils. Ball will be spotted on the 19 of the Blue Devils with 33 seconds to go before halftime, and Gate City leading in the ball game 7-0. Virginia High is out of timeouts. They only have 33 seconds to go, and as soon as the ball is snapped here, the clock will be started. So it's not a whole lot of time to run any running plays, is it?
No, and I think I think if I'm not mistaken, the rule change this year is to stop the clock. He has to throw the ball out of bounds or toward the receiver is incomplete. He can't just step back and
Well, he
spike.
pans off on the draw to Crawford, and he's hit and stopped short of the 15-yard line. Hit by Matt Clayball on the stop that time. No huddle offense for the Bearcats. The Devils trying to get substitutes in defensively and get somebody off. Pope, the quarterback, hands off again to Crawford. He goes over left guard, picks up 2-3 yards on the play. He's short of a first down. We're down to 7 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the Bearcats can't get the ball snapped before the end of the half.
And I'd say we got a real break right there. They run out of timeout.
Yeah, I'd say using those timeouts up early in the first half on 4th and 2 there 2 or 3 times may have cost them here in the first half. So we'll take a break for a few seconds, and we'll be right back to talk a little with you during the halftime show on our live audio broadcast here over Channel 30 STE. A lot of wind or something like that, and you might take the wind instead of taking the football.
But not from a memory lapse, is it?
No, not from a memory lapse. So Matt McClellan has teed it up at the 40, and he'll kick off to a 3-deep receiving triumvirate with Crawford, Johnson, and Rollins went out.
Rollins is out. That's number 3.
That's Johnson. He drops back to the 2, and the ball sails over his head into the end zone for an automatic touchback.
Well, you know, Matt's really got some sort of foot in him.
He has. He's got a real leg.
He's
I wish we had an opportunity to. Sorry for stepping on your
no, that's all
toes.
right.
I wish we had an opportunity to get some field goal attempts for him, but and maybe we will before the year's up. Talked to his grandfather here a week or 2 ago, and I think he's got an official visit scheduled at the University of Virginia later on in the year.
Is that right?
I believe that's what, if I understood him right. Of course, I've been wrong before, but I'm pretty sure that's what he said. All right, Pope is the quarterback this time, and Crawford standing tailback. Fullback in this wing T slot. New left wing back in. Pitch is out to Crawford running right, and he gets up to the 20. Maybe a half-yard gain since the ball was spotted on the 20.
Well, and he got met hard there by Johnson and Beasley and Housewright. Just swarmed all over him, Larry.
Crawford looks like more of a power running back than he does a speed type runner.
He doesn't seem to have any breakaway speed or outside speed. He looks more like a jumping back at times than he does a running back.
Did you, by any chance, get the number of the new wing back we have in there to take Rollins' place? It should have been maybe Wilson. We'll check that out in just a minute. Looks like 15. All right.
Seth Taylor.
Seth Taylor. All right, Pope under center. Rolls out to his right. Looks downfield, throws a pass across the middle that is batted down by McBride, I believe.
McBride and Clayball. I tell you, he threw that into some pretty heavy coverage right there.
He did. That pass was close to being intercepted.
Very close. As a matter of fact, the only thing that may have kept that from being intercepted was 2 of our guys were going for the ball at the same time.
Right. You know, Matt Clayball led this team last year in pass interceptions, and he was one of the 2 people that was there. Of course, safety Joey McBride had rolled over into coverage also.
I expect you're going to see him tighten up a little bit from this secondary, Larry, and the Blue Devil secondary this time.
3rd down and 9. The ball on the 21. Here comes a reverse, running left this time. Matt Clayball's out there and makes a stop, but maybe not enough. The ball carries up to about the 30. Looks like he's got to get to the 30. Boy, it's going to be close. 30 and a half, maybe, or 31.
I believe he's going to be about a half short, about a half yard short.
Yeah, it looks like he's about, we'll call it 1 yard short for statistics, but it's really shorter than that.
30-yard line. Brings up 4th.
So let's see what the Bearcats decide to do. They big decision time right here to go for it deep in your own territory with only a half yard to go.
Well, I'll tell you what I bet they're not going to do, and that's expend all their timeouts on 4th down and short situations this half.
Well, you know, Pope's already come over to the sideline. They're taking a lot of extra time here. Could possibly get a delay of game call here.
If they don't go on a quick count, he very well might.
All right, let's see. Crawford to standing tailback this time. Long count. Blue Devils stay on side. Handoff, short game, handoff to Crawford. The spot's going to mean all the difference in the world here.
That's a real good spot's going to get him a first. A bad spot's going to get us a first down.
I believe it's first down.
He was awful close. It looked like his initial surge, he had it.
Yeah, he did. Pope went on a real long count there, and I thought maybe, you know, after expending all that time before they ever got the ball snap, thought we might get a delay of game, but they got it out just in time. First down, Virginia High, spotted on their own 31-yard line. 9:55 to go in the third quarter with the Blue Devils leading the Bearcats 7-0. Blue Devils in a 5-man line. Handoff on a sweep this time to the right wing back, and he circles up across the 35 to about the 36-yard line. Pickup of about 5 yards on the play.
And Larry, it looks like the Bearcats are doing kind of what we expected. They're going to keep. They're going to try to bounce it to the outside, maybe throw the ball underneath again.
Right.
They've not tried to center the line yet.
Yeah, you're right. We've done a pretty good job plugging the center.
Now, I'm sure they looked at their halftime stats and what they did and where they did it, and they're going to come back and try to build on the good things that they did in the first half.
Steve Johnson was the ball carrier on that play. He is stacked up back with got a fumble on the play. Pope picks it up, rolls out to his right. He's across the 35, the 40, midfield into Gate City territory at the 44-yard line.
And we got a flag back on about the 34-yard line.
Well, that's one of those deals where you got a busted play that's turned into a lot of yardage, depending on who the flag's on here, as to what the Blue Devils may have.
They're talking to Matt Johnson. Looks like this one may go against the Bearcats.
Well, they've had, you know, we were talking about penalties last at halftime there. Virginia High not having too much yardage, but about every penalty they've had has either been a legal motion or a legal procedure, 5-yard penalty. And it's all come from the same official, that line judge, and he's probably got the best look at it. Probably his responsibility. So the good gain by Pope is negated this time by a 5-yard penalty that will push the Bearcats back to their own 31. Make it second down and right at 10 yards to go. The Devils with a change here after that penalty to stop the Bearcats and force them to punt here, maybe, Mark, and take over the ball. The Blue Devils need to put some more points on the board, I believe.
Yeah, we need to do it real quick, too.
Pope. Fake, handoff to the left halfback, swinging around to his right that time. That's Seth Taylor, and he picks up maybe a yard on the play up to the 33-yard line.
And that was Larry Jackson in on the defensive play that time. And I believe that's the first time we've had a chance to mention Larry tonight.
It is. He got his first start last week at the defensive tackle spot and played a pretty good ball game up at Lebanon.
He did. Larry's just 5'11", 155 pounds, which is relatively small for a defensive tackle, but boy, he's some kind of quick in there.
You got to make up for it with quickness.
It's hard to get a good clean block on a quick tackle.
Third down and 8. Pope, the quarterback. Right wing back goes in motion. They hand off on that reverse this time and get it back across guard up to about the 35, across the right guard up to about the 35. Seth Taylor on the carry that time.
Larry, that time they run right at Larry, and they got a pretty good double team on him that time. He didn't get any penetration whatsoever, and they may be going to try to use that a little bit when Larry's in the game.
Maybe. I believe Brian Burke slid over from his other defensive tackle spot to assist on the tackle, maybe the first man to hit him. We got Matt and Hank Clayball back deep, standing at their own 35. There's a low end-over-end punt that's going to hit and roll and be downed and roll out of bounds at the Blue Devil 39-yard line. Not much of a punt, turned out to be pretty good results. Didn't get off the ground over 8 or 10 feet.
I would almost venture to say that he just about shanked that ball.
He just about. It looked like one of my orange shots.
He looked like he shanked it right off the side of his ankle.
He did. That if the Blue Devils had punt rush on that time, it would have been almost impossible to knock the block.
Yeah, or maybe a pass rush. They just had their hands up.
Right. Devils in the pro set offense this time. McClellan split left. Matt Clayball right. Handoff on a quick opener to Gibson. He breaks the tackle at the 40, struggles across the 40 to about the 41. Picks up maybe 2 yards on the play.
Well, I tell you, Kevin's a real hard runner. He runs hard every time he gets the ball.
Keeps his feet moving a lot.
He does, and then you notice he tries to cut the ball upfield just as soon as he can, and that's what makes a good running back.
Jason Rourke knocked Octavius Howell in on the tackle that time for the Bearcat. 2nd down and 8. 6:39 to go in the 3rd quarter with the Blue Devils leading the Bearcats 7-0. Pro set offense again. Shoemaker at the quarter. Long count. Rolls back to his left. Throws the ball out in the flat to Hank Clayball. It's complete into Virginia High territory down the sideline. He's at the 10-5 touchdown, but he stepped out of bounds on the 35-yard line of Virginia High. That guy in the striped shirt was right on the money.
He sure was, and he got a lot of good help from Virginia High coaching staff that time too, Larry.
That's OBK. That's OBK Walker. I'll talk to him when we go over our baseball too.
No, I believe that was a good call. He looked like he stepped out right there. Hank did a good job to turn the corner on that and that burst of speed, but it looked like to me he stepped out clearly right there.
Yeah, I thought he did. That was a good call. But the Blue Devils, even with that, picked up a 1st down and moved the ball into Virginia High territory at the 35-yard line.
I tell you, Larry, that's a real hard pass for Josh to throw. He executed it well last week, but a right-handed quarterback rolling left and throwing across his body. That's a tough pass.
Yeah. Blue Devils in the I formation this time. Hank Clayball, Matt Clayball, Hank McClellan split. Right and left. Hank Clayball, the tailback. Gets a pitch from Shoemaker. Cuts across right guard, right in, up across the 35. Give him a gain of maybe 1 yard on the play. Virginia High did a good job that time rolling that side of their defense. Rourke
and Lawson, I believe.
Yeah, Lawson and Crawford, I think, too, also from his left.
I tell you, Larry, we're not the Devils are really not moving the ball up center of the line on them either. We're going to have to either go outside or put the ball in the air a little bit, kind of open them up.
Well, they're playing almost an 8-man defensive front here, so they're kind of daring us to throw the ball. Handoff on a quick opener this time to Gibson. He spins and breaks one tackle, gets up close to the 31-yard line of Virginia High. Pickup of maybe 4 yards on the play. It's going to be 3rd down and 6 here for the Devils. Blue Devils need to get a big play here. Need to put a few more points on the board. Less than 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Shoemaker, long count. Full house backfield. Handoff, Hank Clayball. Drives and pushes up toward the 25. He's going to be short of a 1st down, I believe, about a yard. Depending on the spot.
Earl Crawford in there on the stop that time for Virginia High, and he stepped up there and filled that hole right well.
Blue Devils have it 4th and inches here, just short of the Bearcat 25-yard line. If they can nose the ball to the 25, it's without a doubt a 1st down because you don't even have to get all the way to the 25. Shoemaker, you're maybe on the quarterback keeper.
That's what I would think.
Handoff. Gibson breaks across the 25 to about the 24. Should be 1st down, Blue Devils.
So much for our coaching decision abilities.
Well, we never had much ability in anything.
I would have thought I looked for Shoemaker to stretch it out there and just run behind the center and hand it off to Gibson.
Well, the people listen to this know what our abilities are or aren't. No more what they aren't. Blue Devils have a 1st down inside the 25 at we'll call it the 24-yard line of Virginia High. Full house backfield this time. By the Devils. Shoemaker, 2 tight ends. Long count. Fake to the fullback. Pitch outside to Hank Clayball. He breaks the tackle. Struggles up close the 20-yard line. Stopped short at about the 21, 22. Pickup of 3 yards on the play. Going to make it 2nd down and 7. We got 3 minutes, 45 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter with the Blue Devils leading the Bearcats 7-0.
Tell you, Larry, it seems like this 3rd quarter is just flying by. Of course, there's been a lot less penalties so far in this quarter.
Well, there has. We don't need one here.
No, this is not a place to get one. not for us, anyway.
All right, Blue Devils, 2nd and 7. Ball on the 23-yard line of Virginia High. Full house again. Shoemaker barks the signal. Fake to the fullback. Looks for a screen. Throws the ball in the middle to McClellan. Makes a good catch across the 10, 15. Pull down inside the 10 at the 9-yard line.
I tell you,
He did go from the 10 to the 15. 15 to the 10, right?
when we're going this direction, yeah.
He's thinking yardage all the time. That's what he did.
I tell you, Josh did a real good job just getting rid of that ball that time. I thought they had him, and then I thought they had everybody covered. So,
well, I think that's supposed to be a middle screen that time, and they diagnosed it well there.
they did, and Matt came right back in and picked up on it and broke clear there, and Shue saw him just in time to get it to him.
Yeah, you know, with a lot of white shirts around, too. Hard to get it through all that. First and goal for the Blue Devils at the 8-yard line. Full house again. Handoff, Gibson. Struggles across the 5 down to about the 4.
And he stopped there by the whole defensive team for the Bearcats right in the center of the line.
They gave Gibson the ball that time and ran him behind Matt Johnson and Jason Kilgore. And
Moves the ball down to the Virginia High 6-yard line.
Virginia High has called a timeout. The ball is going to be spotted at the 6, so not a whole lot of gain on that play.
No, they've stopped us pretty good in the center. What we've got's been on the outside, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them come back out and run that option over here to the wide side of the field on the left side. About every time we've ran that thing, we've ran it to the left side. So he may fake it in there to fake it in the middle to Gibson and come outside on the option to the clay ball boys.
Very true. Option play, you know, if you've got real good execution down here deep, is a pretty good play to run.
It's a hard play to defense.
But it's also an easy play to create a turnover on.
Well, it is.
You got to have a good pitch. You got to hold on to the thing. If you're going to keep it, you got to hold on to it. You can't be have your mind half made up one way or the other.
Right, you
to hold on or to keep. And, but it's
and most young quarterbacks that go out there, they've got their mind made up when they get to the end. Hey, I'm going to pitch it or I'm going to run it. It takes a sharp kid to be able to read what he needs to do on that thing.
Yeah, and here, you know, well, here you probably one of the best plays has been for Gate City all year. Of course, Virginia High's taking it away a lot tonight. It's just been those quick openers up the middle
right.
with Gibson and the clay ball twin.
Well, I'm sure they saw the film against Lebanon last week and knew that we were going to be tough on the quick opener.
All right, the Blue Devils in a power I, or in an I formation this time. Shoemaker fakes to the fullback, drops back, throws a pass in the end zone, intended for Lindsey Fisher, that's overthrown and incomplete. So now the Blue Devils will be 3rd and goal at the 6.
Incomplete.
Lindsey broke clear there just for a minute and just overthrew him and the ball out of the back of the end zone there.
Yeah, he shooed just a little bit high with the throw. Fisher was open, I believe, don't you? The Blue Devils now come to the line with 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go with the clock stopped on the incomplete pass. 6-yard line. Full house backfield again. Shoemaker. 2 tight ends this time. Snap. Handoff. Gibson. Touchdown. Kevin Gibson. And I see no flags on the play. So the Blue Devils have broken out ahead of Virginia High 13-0 with 2:25 to go in the 3rd quarter.
And there's that quick opener to Gibson right behind Matt Johnson, right up the center of the line.
Yep. But one of those, you know, a couple of those plays where you're trying to string it outside with a little sweep or two opens up that play inside.
Sure will.
Matt McClellan will attempt the extra point. Matthew Johnson, I believe, is the snapper. Shoemaker the holder. There's the snap, a good snap. Shoemaker gets it down. McClellan hits it good. The point after is good. So with 2:25 to go in the 3rd quarter, the Blue Devils lead Virginia High 14-0. Pretty good drive that time, Blue.
Pretty good drive. Of course, the big play on the drive was the little screen in the middle that was able to get into Matt McClellan, and that could have turned out to be real disastrous. Well, it had all the potential in the world to be disastrous when it started, but...
well, really, the interference had broken down. Really, McClellan gained what yardage he gained on his own. He didn't really have any blocking.
Yes, he did.
Because Virginia High they had taken all the blocking away, all the interference. So, but that was a good scramble by Shoemaker and some real good open field running, I thought, by McClellan. McClellan I like the way he catches the football. We throw it to him, some, and we got some people on this team who catch the football.
We have, I think what few passes that we've thrown tonight, a couple of them that Josh Shoemaker's overthrown there a time or two, and that just comes from being inexperienced. As the season goes on, as Josh gets older and gets more playing time under his belt, he's going to have a little better touch on that ball.
I agree. The Bearcats have Damian Johnson back deep, along with Crawford and with Stephen Johnson. So it's Johnson, and Crawford. Sounds like a law firm, doesn't it?
It does. May very well be one of these days.
Crawford being the deep man. The kick is to the left side to Damian Johnson, and he fields it at the 5, breaks outside to the 10, to the 15. Jackson misses the tackle at the 10, but the Blue Devils bring him down at the 15-yard line. Down on the play that time for the Blue Devils was Bo Hartside.
That's real good pursuit. Larry Jackson turned him back in a little bit and got plenty of help out of about 3 or 4 Blue Devils pursuing across the field. That's what you're looking for when a kid tries to break outside. Coaches kind of start cringing at the kid starts on one side of the field and breaks outside on the other side of the field. They start cringing a little bit.
Well, somebody more than I do about this thing, but somebody's got outside responsibilities on that kickoff team.
Exactly, and their outside responsibility is to turn them back toward the center of the field to get some help.
Pope, the quarterback for the Bearcats. Pro set this time. Little handoff on a trap this time over right guard that gets only about a half yard maybe.
He stopped in there that time by House Wright, and I can't get the other number 11, McBride.
Give was to Crawford that time. Crawford has become the workhorse of this Virginia High offense, and to be honest, he hadn't done a bad job. The Blue Devils done a pretty good job defensively. Pope has thrown the ball pretty good. Gained, I believe, over 100 yards passing in the first half. So
they had 159 yards. I don't remember what the passing yardage was, but I
believe it was 114.
Yeah.
Pope, a quarterback. Pro set this time. Fake to Crawford this time. Pope throws to his left, has receivers open downfield, throws a long pass that's intended for Damian Johnson at about the 45 of the Blue Devils of Virginia High, but the pass is overthrown Alabama.
And again, Larry, seemed like we give up a lot of ground underneath, under our safeties that time. If that ball was thrown, that ball there's thrown on the money, he makes a catch right there, and it's a big gainer.
Yeah. Benny Wolf back defending that time on the play from his linebacker spot.
Right.
So it brings up third down, and we'll call it 9. It's really short 10, really. Only about 9.5 yards to go. 1:09 to go in the third quarter. Blue Devils with their linebackers pulled up pretty tight in a 6-man line here. Pope drops straight back and now rolls to his right, looks to throw the ball out, and the open, and it's overthrown, almost intercepted by Matt Johnson. Pass was intended that time for the fullback Earl Crawford swinging out of the backfield.
And to be honest with you, I believe Matt was the only guy that was open that time.
He was. You bring that ball down a little bit, and if he could stop and cut and go back to his right, there's a lot of blue shirts over there.
It almost looked like he was trying to hit Matt with the ball.
Matt and Hank Clayball will drop back deep for the Blue Devils here as Virginia High has to drop back into punt formation. There's a snap. It's a low snap. The punter gets the ball off. It's another one of those low end-over-end punts. It's going to bounce out of bounds. Looks like on the 40-yard line of Virginia High. So the Blue Devils will pick up good field position here with a bad punt from Virginia High.
Well, Larry, it almost looks like to me that he's trying to punt the ball away from our boys back there, and in doing so, he's just hitting some bad punts. I don't think he's really intending to hit that ball out of bounds. He'd almost turned away from.
Well, it doesn't seem to me like he really extends his leg, gets his legs through the ball. What about you?
Well,
it's not like it's a punch kick.
Kicker. Like he's trying to pooch it out, and that's not a place you want to pooch one out of bounds at from inside, from your 5-yard line.
No. 55 seconds to go in the third quarter. Devils have McClellan, Matt Clayball split, left and right, high formation. Shoemaker rolls out to his right, looks downfield, has Clayball open. Now he has to scramble, gets away and throws the ball short and incomplete, intended for Matt Clayball. A lot of defensive people out there probably just threw that ball away.
Yeah, and that was I think he just kind of threw the ball on the ground toward the receiver that time, and that's a very smart move because he didn't have anybody open and nowhere to run the ball either.
Right. Matt Clayball did a little down and turn in there, and then kind of set down in the Virginia High zone, and at the last minute broke back for the football, but couldn't hardly get to it.
I tell you, Larry, defenses on both sides, the Blue Devils and the Bearcats, are not giving these quarterbacks a lot of time to throw the ball.
No, they're not.
Pope had to run for his life a couple of times when the Devils were on defense, and now here Josh is having to scramble pretty hard.
Right. High formation this time with Hank Clayball, the tailback. Shoemaker pitched to Clayball. Devils runner reverse with Matt Clayball, and he's hit and fumbled, but he recovers his own fumble back inside Blue Devil territory at the 44-yard line.
And I'll tell you what, Larry, Octavius Hall give Matt a pretty good shot that time to cause that fumble.
That's at 61, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, he did. Virginia High played that just like he had it scouted or something, and we haven't run that play in many years that I can remember.
We hadn't. He stepped right in there and met Matt coming back on reverse, and
got a holding against Gate City. Virginia High, after that big loss, is going to decline the penalty and take the loss, which puts Gate City on their own 44-yard line with 39 seconds to go in the third quarter and the clock turning. Third down and a whole lot, 26. So the Blue Devils here may play a little field position. Just hand it off and try to get what you can get, and then kick it out, try to pin them back deep in the hole. So much we get for coach.
I'll tell you.
Pro set this time. Shoemaker. Hand off on the quick opener to Gibson. He breaks a couple tackles, fumbles the football, scrambles after it, and Shoemaker recovers, I believe, on the 48-yard line of Virginia High.
And Larry, that's 2 plays in a row. We almost turned the ball over to him.
Can't leave it laying on the ground. And that's the end of the third quarter. We'd like to tell you that Gate City Blue Devil football on STE Channel 30 is brought to you by People's Bank of Gate City, featuring half-a-day hours on Saturday and drive-up ATM. Get countrywide service with people. By Magnolia Place. Discover the charm of the place for the perfect gift on East Jackson Street in Gate City. By Weber City Drug Center. Great prescription service, also featuring UPS. UPS, that's UPS, huh?
It sure is.
And fax service for your convenience. By Nationwide Bank with an ATM at the Weber City office and great deals on private lines of credit throughout Scott County. The Blue Devils drop back into punt formation with Joey McBride, the punter. And the Bearcats drop 2 receivers deep. McBride gets off a pretty good end-over-end punt that's fielded on the 16, breaks the tackle up across the 25, and the official throws a flag down around in the vicinity of the 20-yard line. So could be a penalty coming up here against the Bearcats.
I'll tell you, when he threw the flag, and he threw it, he must have threw that flag a good 15 yards when he threw it.
Well, that's old BK. See, he works over in baseball, got a pretty good arm.
Pretty good arm. He had every intention of throwing that flag.
Yeah, I believe he did. He pretty good toss that time.
Well, now, nobody's ever accused BK of being real shy.
No, he never has been when he comes out to get on me and you.
No, he certainly has not.
Let's see what the call is. The call is a clip on Virginia High, and that'll probably be, from that point, half the distance back to the goal line. So the spot will be on the Bearcat 10-yard line.
McBride made a real good punt that time. It long punt. It wasn't really a thing of beauty, but it was a long punt.
Well, he's had 2 pretty good punts. The punt in the first half was
35 yards.
35 yards, I think. All right, Virginia High comes to the line of scrimmage at their own 10. Put the wing back in motion left. Hand off to the fullback Crawford. He breaks the tackle at the line of scrimmage and struggles up close to the 15-yard line. Gain of maybe 4 yards on the play.
Hey, I'm a little bit surprised they're still trying the inside of our defensive line. They've not really gained anything in there all night, but I know you have to keep the linebackers honest, but are you surprised they're still trying to come straight at us up the middle?
Well, I am. I think possibly in this second half, the loss of Rollins going out at that wingback spot may have a lot to do with
It
that.
very well probably does.
Because he, he's a back there at the wingback spot that had a lot of experience we talked a while ago. So we've got a pro set this time by the Bearcats with a flanker or a wingback left that goes in motion. Pope, fake handoff, drops straight back, throws the pass out in the flat to Steven Johnson that makes the catch. And he gets up to the close to the 30-yard line, short of it by about 3 yards at about the 27. Picked up a first down on the play. Pretty good pass that time.
Pretty good gain. He set Johnson in motion and then threw out to him in the flats and just gave him a chance to run the ball.
Right. Pope, I think Pope does a pretty good job throwing the football. Like we said, he's underthrown a few, but it's not been too bad. He's been pretty accurate anyhow, for being close. Delaware wing T set this time. Hand off to Crawford up the middle, and he's hit almost at the line of scrimmage. Maybe picked up a half yard on the play.
He's hit in there by Benny Wolf, and who else is that? Number 73. I do too.
Yeah. 73 is Joel Stacy. Joel started tonight at right defensive end. Burke was in on the tackle that time also. Second down and 9. The ball on the Bearcats 28-yard line. 27 we'll call it. Pope the quarterback. Gate City shifts her defensive line a little bit to the weak side, and it paid off. They shifted right into the formation that time, Mark, and into the play.
Right into Matt Johnson. Burke was out there on the tackle, and so was McBride.
Good job that time. The Devils read a key that time and shifted the defense to the Virginia High weak side and shifted right into the teeth of the play. So no gain on that play, makes it 3rd down and 9 for the Bearcats. Ball on their own 28-yard line. 9:13 to go in the ball game with the Blue Devils leading 14-0. Throw set by the Bearcats this time. Wing back left goes in motion. Fake to the fullback. And a blitz this time by
Lindsey Fisher.
Lindsey Fisher throws Pope back inside the 20-yard line for a big loss. They're going to give him forward progress to the 20. But that's about a right at a 8-yard loss, we'll call it.
And I think they're being very generous with him to give him that.
I did too. He was actually thrown, looked like at about the 18.
Fisher did a great job. He went in there just virtually untouched. There wasn't anybody touched him, and he just wore Pope out on that one.
He did. That Blue Devils diagnosed that play really well defensively. So Virginia High punts the ball, and a good punt by the Virginia High punter this time. Hank Clayball receives it at his own 45 after waving for a fair catch. Wanted to forget he'd called the fair catch and take off, didn't he?
He sure did. I'm surprised. Virginia High punter punted 2 real bad punts, and he got away a good one. I don't know if the first 2 were intentional or he really, because he really laid a foot into that ball.
Well, he did, and
I didn't see if it was the same kid kicking either.
That's what I was thinking too. It could very well been a different kid kicking that time, but I can't understand if you got a guy that kicks the ball that well, why you'd have somebody else kick.
Well, it's almost like I said earlier. It looked like they were trying to kick away from Hank back there, and they didn't want to give him a chance to run the ball back on him.
So the Blue Devils take over with good field position. Ball at their own 46-yard line. Pro set this time. Unbalanced line right. Hand off to Hank Clayball, and he struggles up to about the 47. Play looked pretty good for a minute, and then the Virginia High linebacker.
Yeah, that's Jeremy Doss, number 50. He stepped up in that hole.
He closed that hole in a hurry, didn't he?
There was a hole there, and he stepped in there pretty good.
Gain of 2 on the play, we'll call it, and make it 2nd down and 8.
I really thought when that play started it had potential to go for a lot of yardage.
I did too. Jake Houseraut reports into the Blue Devils lineup at the tight end spot, and Wes Ford goes out. Probably coach uses his tight ends to carry in the plays a lot. So we got Blue Devils got an unbalanced line right this time also. Throw set. Virginia High with 6-man line. Shoemaker drops straight back, throws that little pass out in the flat for McClellan, and he almost broke it for big yardage. Broke a tackle, picked up about 3 yards. Going to be short of first down by about a yard.
And that was a real good defensive play by Brentwood Wilson. I believe that's the first time we've had a chance to mention him tonight for the Bearcats. He made a real good play to trip Matt up right there.
He sure did. If he don't get him, McClellan's still running.
McClellan's still running, and chances are he could have beat Pope to the corner for a few more yards anyway.
Yeah, I agree. Third down, and we'll call it a long one. Closer to 2 here. Ball on the Virginia High 46. Devils must reach the Virginia High 44-yard line for a first down. Unbalanced right. Handoff. Gibson struggles. First down, Blue Devils.
Give is to number 40, Kevin Gibson.
That's a real hard short yardage play to defense right there, Larry. The line just surges off the ball, and Gibson hits that hole so hard and so fast, it's hard for them to defend that play.
I saw a couple of new numbers in there that time. Mark, 73. Joel Stacy in on offense that time
43-yard line.
at a tackle spot. So, yeah, I agree. That's a hard play to defense with a quick opener like that. 6 minutes, 32 seconds to go in the ball game, and the Blue Devils leading 14-0. First and 10, and right here, full house backfield by the Devils. Little confusion on their part. Shoemaker gets off the snap, fakes it, hands off to the second man through, Hank Clayball, and he breaks across the 40, 35 inside the 35 at the 34. Ed Lane's into the lineup this time also at probably the guard or tackle spot 1. I'd say the guard spot.
He's just the right guard. It looked like they ran right over him, right off his block that time, Larry.
Trying to give Beasley and Johnson some rest here. You know, you've got a 14-point lead. Good time to do it right here.
Real good time to do it, and if you've got some kids that can get in there and give them a rest, they've been going both ways all night, and it's late in the game. You know they're tired.
You're absolutely right, and the big game coming up next week. Blue Devils seem to be in pretty good command of this football game with 5:35 to go and leading 14-0. The Bearcats have threatened a time or two, but have really shot themselves in the foot most of the night, and I think Gate City's defense had a lot to do with it. Quick opener this time. A handoff is to Matt Clayball this time, and he only makes it back to the line of scrimmage, if that much.
He stopped in there at time by Wilson again and Mark Edwards.
Blue Devils ran to the weak side that time. Mark had their unbalanced line to the right side and ran back to the weak side that time. Third down and 3. The Devils pretty content here just to keep the ball on the ground. Try to rack up another first down. You get another first down here, you don't even have to score, probably.
You can sure eat up a lot of clock if you can make a first down here.
Right. Shoemaker, throw set. Gibson, Hank Clayball in the backfield. Handoff, Gibson, and he's hit just as he gets to the line of scrimmage.
I think that's just a case of going to the well one too many times right there, Larry. That's the same play that we scored on a while ago. It's the same play we got the first down on the previous first down, and we went right back to it again. And I think they pretty much knew it were coming.
Ran over to the left guard spot that time, and defensive man for Virginia High was standing right there in the hole waiting on him.
He was. That's Octavius Hall, and he can take up a lot of line too.
He sure can. The Blue Devils have called for a timeout here with 4:10 to go, and leading in the ball game 14-0. We'd like to tell you that Gate City Blue Devil football on STE Cablevision Channel 30 is brought to you by State Line Graphics, offering the best service for your printing needs, located in Weber City. By King Ford in Gate City for its closeout time with better than ever savings. And by Roberts Tire and Recapping with quality tires like Firestone and Michelin at the Weber City location. By Williams Heating and Air Conditioning. Contact them to experience the comfort of Carrier heat pumps today. And Gate City football is also brought to you by Delegate Terry Kilgore, proud to represent the 1st District in the Virginia Legislature.
Well, I'm proud of you.
You got it right.
I'm proud of you. I said you get it right in the second half.
Well, when you take your time, Blue, when you take your time.
You're a good second half player.
I don't know if you get many to agree to that. All right, the Blue Devils are going to attempt a 51-yard field goal with Hank McClellan with 4:10 to go. The ball would be spotted on the 41. The ball is down. The kick is up. The kick is long enough, but it's off to the left.
Just hooked off to the left, Larry. I tell you what, I was glad to see Matt get that opportunity. That would have been some field goal for a high school kicker, 51 yards.
51 yards.
And it had plenty of distance.
It had plenty of distance. You know, the two field goals that I've seen Matt tried one over at Powell Valley.
And Matt gets a big ovation from the hometown
He does.
folks, doesn't he?
He tried a field goal over Powell Valley in the scrimmage, and he missed it a little bit left. Now, that ball must have had a little hook on the end, I believe. But he sure has a good leg.
I'll tell you, he's going to impress some. I would think he would be going to impress some college people with his strength.
Oh, yeah.
Accuracy will come.
Yeah, you take a college kicking coach that, could really take that good leg. If you got the leg and the strength and the form, and he has good form, that's an unusual rule, too. In high school football, it doesn't make any difference where you attempt it from. If it goes into the end zone, I guess they bring it back out to the 20.
Right.
So Virginia High takes over on their own 20. That's not a bad call then, trying to go for a long
No, it's
field goal.
not.
Virginia High's wing back on the right side stood up and asked for a timeout. So the Bearcats, I believe, are down to maybe one timeout left in the second half.
And that's sort of unusual. We see a wing back ask for a timeout when the quarterback's fixing to call signals.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought it looked like both wing backs were about to go in motion there, which would have been a penalty, but
maybe that's what he was trying to avoid, the penalty.
Gate City football is brought to you again by Magnolia Place. Discover the charm of the place for the perfect gift on East Jackson Street in Gate City. By Weber City Drug Center, great prescription service, also featuring UPS and fax service for your convenience. By Nations Bank, with an ATM at the Weber City office and great deals on private lines of credit throughout Scott County. By Weber City Cohen Laundry, deli and tanning, with full service laundry, sandwiches, and homemade soups, and 6 Wolf tanning beds. By King Ford in Gate City, for its closeout time with better than ever savings. So we'd like for all you people to stop by all these fine sponsors that make Gate City Blue Devil football possible each Friday night. Virginia High, 1st and 20 at their own 20-yard line. Pope takes a snap, hands off to Crawford, straight up the middle, and he picks up maybe 1-2 yards on the play. Matt Johnson's got a hold of his ankles.
Tackle made by number 54.
Matt stepped up into that hole and just grabbed hold of Crawford and just held on.
Yeah, Matt Johnson's had Crawford's number the biggest part of the night.
He certainly has.
Blue Devils in an unusual defense here with Johnson the only linebacker. About an 8-man line. Pope rolls to his left. A lot of pressure from the Blue Devils. Throws a pass downfield. That is intercepted. Matt Playbox.
Well, Larry, that's just the case that he overthrew his receiver. He had a receiver wide open. I believe Johnson, number 7, and that Johnson was wide open, and Pope just rolling left, pulled up, and just overthrew him. And,
well, he was under some pretty good pressure, but the Blue Devils didn't have a whole lot of time, just had to get rid of the ball.
That makes good defense. You know, the Devils' defense has really put a lot of pressure on Pope when he went out the second half. He's had to throw on the run about all the second half.
Well, so far, I would say Coach Bill Howe's right, and, of course, Coach Calabro and all the coaching staff is really pleased with this defense tonight. After giving up 23 points last week and holding Virginia High to no points tonight, has to be a great reward for them. How'd you like it?
Easy for you to say.
Yeah. Full house. Handoff Gibson straight up the middle. Struggles for about 5-6 yards on the play.
And we may get by with 1 first down here, Larry, and may be able to run the clock out from here on if we can get 1 first down.
I believe you're right. Pickup of, we'll call it 3. It's a long 3 on the play. We got 2:52 to go in the game. Blue Devils seem well in command, leading the Bearcats at Virginia High 14-0. Second down and about 7. get some new people in the backfield here, I believe. Have Benny Wolf, I think, at fullback. Looks like
We got Ed Britt out here to wide out.
Jason McMurray in at the tailback spot. Shoemaker, long count. Handoff, McMurray breaks it across the 40, the 35. Inside the 35, drives down close to the 31-yard line of the Bearcats.
And that's a good-looking run by the young sophomore there. He's boy, he hit that hole in a hurry and just turned it on, didn't he?
Some good downfield blocking that time by, looked like Joel Stacy, J.C. Oakes, and Sean Becker that time, I believe, 59 on the play. So some good blocking on this side, and a couple of those blocks were thrown 4 yards past the line of scrimmage.
They sure were. Well, they're pretty much, you know that the Bearcats defense, their legs are getting weak.
Yeah.
Or the legs are getting leaked.
Kind of like our tongues, right?
Yeah, kind of.
1st and 10, Blue Devils. I formation. Shoemaker, long count. Handoff, McMurray. Driving left, and he's hit behind the line of scrimmage and thrown for about a 2-yard loss. But right now, all the Blue Devils are interested in is just keeping the clock running. Looks like the Bearcats have another player coming up a little lame on the play, but seems to be all right now.
He's still hopping around back there. That's number 6. I'm not sure who that is. Ricky Francis.
Ricky Francis. And the officials are going to call timeout because of the injury. So he'll have to leave the ball game if they call timeout because injury timeout. He has no other choice.
He certainly don't want to come out. He's trying his best to stay in, but the official's not going to let him.
Yeah. I mean, if you call an official's timeout, he's got to leave.
Right. If it's on injury, he has to go out for at least one play.
And even though he doesn't want to come out, it's for his own protection. So the Blue Devils with 1:30 to go. 2nd down and about 8. Ball spotted on the on the Virginia High 33. And it seems that maybe for another year the Blue Devils have dodged the bullet from Virginia High. Unbalanced line right this time. I formation, Blue Devils. Shoemaker, long count. Handoff, McMurray. Nothing. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage this time.
And there's some new numbers into the game, I believe, for Virginia High, too. Jason Rourke was in there. He's been in there at left defensive end all night, but number 78. I'm not.
65, I believe. Jeff Ramsey was also in on that.
You know.
So the Blue Devils at least keep the clock rolling. Well, Virginia High evidently has used their last time out here. Yeah, the referee just signaled to the Virginia High sideline that was the last time out. So 1:04 to go. Virginia High can't stop the ball game anymore with timeouts. Blue Devils have it 3rd down and about 13 here, it looks like.
Still, you know, the Virginia High coaching staff's got to be they got to be fairly pleased with some things they've seen tonight. Their ability to throw the ball.
You know, I kind of wonder here, Mark. We get 2 or 3 yards and be short of a 1st down. Do you suppose Coach Calabro would let McClellan attempt another field goal? Or would it be kind of unsportsmanlike but trying to add on points when the game seems to be well in hand?
Well, I'm sure the Virginia High coaching staff would take it that way. I'm sure from a fan standpoint of view, we'd like to see Matt get another chance at it.
But Coach Calabro's never been anyone to run up a score on anybody, I don't think.
No, because it's pretty accepted theory. What goes around comes around.
Shoemaker, fumble. Shoemaker dives and recovers the ball at his own, at Virginia High's 41. So big loss on the play. He's going to bring up 4th and about 23 or 4 yards to go for a 1st down. But the clock's still running, and we're down to 45 seconds. The Blue Devils probably can just go ahead and run a play. Even though you don't get a 1st down, the time Virginia High gets the ball, there's going to be less than 20 seconds to go. So might as well run it here and see what happens. Mark, I'd like to say while we got a few minutes here, it's had a lot of fun doing this.
Well, it's been a lot of fun for me. It's been a real pleasure for me to get a chance to work with you and all the Channel 30 crew, and I appreciate the opportunity. And
we may never, for sure, get a chance to ever do it again after this performance, but it's been a lot of fun.
It has for me, and you know, to be quite honest with you, my first time up here, I came in. I would say I came up here with little bit of butterflies, but that'd be a lie. I came in with a whole lot of butterflies.
That's what I saw flying around here. The Blue Devils have sustained a 5-yard penalty for a delay of game, and the clock's down to 15 seconds now. So this game's basically over. Blue Devils here would probably run a play, even with tremendous yardage to go. 4th and 27, and I'd say that's being generous there, wouldn't you?
Very.
Full house backfield. Shoemaker still the quarterback. Long count. Handoff this time to a new fullback in there. I believe that's Green this time, 44.
I believe it is.
That's Chris Green.
Chris Green.
And got a carry here in a varsity game. So Virginia High takes over on down at their own 47-yard line with 11 seconds to go. Blue Devils will probably drop both safeties, both play balls back, and
we're going into a prevent defense here.
25 yards deeper than normal here, right?
Well, I'm sure the Devils don't want to give the Bearcats a chance to score.
Sure.
It's a feather in their cap, and so hats off to the defense tonight, who's done a good job of shutting them down.
The Pope drops straight back and throws the ball over the middle, and he hit the receiver at a bad place. Hit him in the hand. Price was intended that time for number 15, that's Seth Taylor, and that play ends the ball game with the Blue Devils coming out on top of the Virginia High Bearcats, 14-0. So Blue Devils played pretty good, but I'd say the coaches are not real pleased with the performance. They had a lot of sputtering in the first half. Were a little smoother, I thought, in the second half. But Virginia High did a couple things in the second half really to help us out.
Well, they did, and of course, all the penalties in the first half, Larry, certainly figured in heavy to the way the Gate City offense sputtered around, and I'm sure they're going to take when they look at the film, and they already know. I'm sure one of the first things that's going to come up in the first practice is penalties, and they're going to work on. We have an awful lot of motion penalties, illegal procedure penalties, and I'm sure they're going to work hard on that before we go over to Lehigh next week, and I think we'll see a more settled down type offense.
Well, I think as this team goes along, with the youth and inexperience that it has, if they keep everybody healthy, they should get just a little bit better as they go. And every game is more experience, and next week is a tough test. Lehigh, we've never, as far as I can remember, we've never defeated Lehigh at Lee since they've been a high school over there. We've had some luck over here and shut them out, I believe, the last 2 times they've come to Gate City. But at Lee, we've never had a whole lot of success. This be a good time to start it.
Be a real good. Anytime you can start at Lee, be a good time.
You ain't wrong. The second half and game. These are the game statistics for tonight's game. First downs, Gate City had 10. Virginia High had 8. Rushes, Gate City rushed the ball 38 times for 115 yards. Virginia High's rushing game was held to 63 yards. They had 30 rushing attempts for 63 yards. Gate City attempted 10 passes, completed 5 with no interceptions for 88 yards. Virginia High attempted 12 passes, completed 5, 1 interception for 127 yards. Total offense, Gate City 223 yards. Virginia High 190. Markey had 159 at half, so they only gained 31 yards in the second half, right? Punts, Gate City had 2 for a 36-yard average. Virginia High had 3 for a 28.5 average. Fumbles, Gate City had 5 fumbles and lost 1. That's something that the Blue Devils can work on this week, I'd say. Virginia High had 2 fumbles and lost 1. Gate City had 7 penalties for 50 yards. Virginia High had 5 penalties for 35 yards. Turnovers, the Blue Devils had 1 turnover. Virginia High had 2. Individual stats for the game, Gibson rushed the ball 14 times for 77 yards. Crawford rushed the ball 20 times for 40 yards. He had 31 yards in the first half. He only picked up 9 yards in the second half, and it wasn't because they didn't run him.
No, he had his hands on the ball a lot of times. The center of that Gate City line, defensive line, did an outstanding job. Matt Johnson, if that were the game plan tonight for Matt to do his king on Crawford, he played an excellent ball game.
Well, for one more time, we're going to run through our list of sponsors and the people that make this presentation possible. Gate City Blue Devil football on STE Cablevision Channel 30 is brought to you by People's Bank of Gate City, featuring half-a-day hours on Saturday and a drive-up ATM. Get county-wide service with People. By Magnolia Place. Discover the charm of the place for the perfect gift on East Jackson Street in Gate City. By Weber City Drug Center. Great prescription service, also featuring UPS and fax service for your convenience. By Nations Bank, with an ATM at the Weber City office and great deals on private lines of credit throughout Scott County. By Weber City Corn Laundry, Deli and Tanning, with full service laundry, sandwiches, and homemade soups, and 6 Wolf tanning beds. By Williams Heating and Air Conditioning. Contact them. Experience the comfort of a Carrier heat pump today. By Delegate Terry Kilgore, proud to represent the 1st District in the Virginia Legislature. By State Line Graphics, offering the best service for your printing needs, located in Weber City. By King Ford in Gate City, where it's closeout time with better than ever savings. By Roberts Tar and Recapping, with quality tars like Firestone and Michelin at the Weber City location. Gate City Blue Devil football is also brought to you by Gate City Drug, by Doc Whitley Nationwide Insurance, by the Campus Drive-In, by Willis Pharmacy, and by Scott Jewelers. Thank you to all the sponsors who help us bring Blue Devil football on Channel 30. And Mark, thank you for filling in tonight for PJ, and after tonight's performance, you may be filling in for me over there.
Well, like I said earlier, it's been a real pleasure. You know, I was mowing the yard this afternoon, and I was thinking that a lot of great sportscasters probably got their start this way, and one came to mind real quick. After he ended his football career and a few years down the road, he got into sports broadcasting, and he's spending a lot of time now in the Los Angeles County Jail. So, I hope that's not an omen.
Well, it's taking a pretty big deal to hold both me and you. Well, for Larry Shelton and Mark Blanton, we'll sign off tonight on Channel 30 live audio. Be sure to watch the replay tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and again Tuesday afternoon at 6:30. Thank you, and we'll see you again next week.
In blue and also the blue helmets. Team captains for Gate City will be coming to the field first, I believe, with a coin toss, or will the Devils come out as a whole? We'll see momentarily as the team captains for Lehigh now make their way down the bank for Lehigh, the general, if you will, the mascot.